Next, we're going to talk about real estate 9 tips to avoid overpaying for your home. It is important to not overpay for your home because doing so will cost you tens of thousands of dollars over the next 30 years, if not more. And when homes often last you 100 plus years in life overall, that financial cost can be pretty large. The financial cost of overpaying for your home may be high, especially if you get a larger mortgage with a higher purchase price, therefore higher interest and higher fees. The resale value and the amount of appreciation may be also impacted. So, if you decide to sell the home in the future, you may not be able to sell it for as much as you would like to sell it for. Any home can have added unexpected repair costs hidden away inside the walls or structure that are really difficult to see without a detailed, experienced inspector. If you do not get the best purchase price, when these repair costs show themselves, you will be surprised in a very unexpected, not so fun way. You will be impacted unexpectedly, although avoidable, because oftentimes an inspector can identify problems as you're purchasing, which is definitely the time in which you want to find these problems, not later on down the road. To avoid not overpaying for your home, there are some tips that you can implement, and here they are. First, you're going to want to compare comps. Comparing the listing price to other homes in the area with similar square footage, number of bedrooms, and number of bathrooms. We call this run the comps for your area. Definitely run the comps for your area. Number 2, values are always increasing in my eyes, and so know that the value of your home will probably increase over time because of inflation. And the value of your home is also subjective. Your home only has the value in which you give it. The value is literally what people are willing to pay for it. And so if you or others are willing to pay more for that property, then it is valued higher. If people don't want to pay more or don't have money, then they're not going to be willing to pay as much for that property. And so that value of the home will just be based on what people are willing to pay. Anything is possible, and you may lose a home if you do not offer a high enough amount for the purchase price. Be sure to offer what you think the home is valued at and offer the most that you're willing to pay as to not lose out on a really good deal or a really good property that has minimal structural repairs. You do not want to lose out on a great property by not taking action or offering enough in your purchase price offer. Try not to lose out on a good deal, but also be very patient to find the best deal for you. It is okay if you miss out on a good deal because the reality is there are so many properties in the world and you have a ton of options, so don't be tied into one specific property. If one doesn't work out, it was just not meant for you, and it's probably a blessing in disguise. If the property has been new to the market or is sitting on the market for 3 to 4 or 5 weeks, you may be safer to offer less money for the home if it's been sitting on the market for a long time. And you may be less apt to find competing bids against you as well. Now, be wary because I have purchased a property at least once in my life in which it was sitting on the market for over a month, and then all of a sudden that weekend multiple offers come in the weekend that I wish to make my offer. And so according to the realtor and the situation, there were multiple offers, and so I had to provide my highest and best offer if I didn't want to lose the property. I really don't think this was the most accurate depiction of events, but the reality is it was a great deal, and I am glad that I offered $5,000 more because it's better to offer that $5,000 more and secure a great situation for yourself versus to miss out on a good deal. So in the reality is, while that purchase price is $57,000, instead of $52,000, it was still a really good deal because the value of that home today, just a few years later, is over $120,000. So I've doubled my money. And it all required just $5,000 extra. The cost of doubling my money was just $5,000. And if I didn't buy, I wouldn't have made that $60,000+ in just a few years. In the end of the day, I offered what I was comfortable offering, and I just let fate take over. ended up getting the home because apparently my offer was 1,000 more than the other individuals, and I guess they liked that I was a military veteran and reliable, and they really wanted to provide me my first home. Now, the definition of being a first-time homeowner is complicated. I actually was, by technicality, not a first-time homeowner, but anyway, the whole situation was actually pretty funny. In reality, I had a home inspection and I found safety issues. Negotiations led to the seller doing some minimal repairs, and reality is that 5,000 extra I spent, the seller did repairs and I saved a lot of that money by doing an inspection. So I basically secured the deal, got everything under contract, was the highest bidder, was able to purchase therefore, and then during the inspection process, I was able to get some negotiated repairs, which was totally a win. All was a done deal at that point. There is no point in nickeling and diming deals, just buy. There is no point in nickeling and diming deals, just buy. The more you buy and the earlier you buy, the better off you are. Number 4, do not lose a perfect home because of a few $1,000s. Just buy, get the deal. If it's a great deal, just buy it. And getting the best deal is great, but all buyers win in the long run. Just buy. The exception being if you're buying a super expensive property and you have the inability to afford it. That is literally the exception. Do not do that. Make sure you're buying something that you can afford. And always, of course, minimize the structural repairs that are needed for the home. The less repairs, the better, of course. Number 5, do not lose a good deal for silly reasons. Number 6, know there are an abundance of other homes and options out there. If one falls through, know that there are so many others out there, and honestly, it's probably a good thing that this one fell through. There may have been an issue with it that you were unaware of. So consider that all good things happen for a reason, and if it doesn't happen, it's probably a good thing as well. You have tons of options, so many others out there that you can purchase, and there may be even better ones out there. You just need to be patient and find it. Number 8, be willing to walk. In negotiations, if you're not willing to walk, you will lose. This leads to you getting taken advantage of and not getting the best deal. Set your purchase price, understand your budget prior to making offers and prior to even walking the home. Know what your budget is, know what you can afford, and then negotiate. And then even after you get the property under contract, know that you can still negotiate, as I did within the inspection process. That is why you do an inspection, is so you could find all the issues and then use that knowledge to potentially get some repairs done before the purchase, or to get a lower purchase price during the inspection process. Negotiate and only budge based on what you can afford, and just do your best. But also don't lose out on a good thing, of course. Number 9, home purchases should be logical, not emotional decisions. Make your decision based on the numbers and the inspection report. Overpaying for your home. Well, as noted, the value of a home is only what you give it. You cannot overpay for a home, because if you pay more, it is because you see the value in paying more. If you walk away at certain prices, you will not overpay for a home. The choice is on you, and you know what value you place on each home, and based on that value, be willing to walk. Make this decision based on what you observe, based on your realtor's findings and what they say and think and observe, and also the findings of an inspector and his inspection report. Pay what you can afford and pay only what you are willing to pay. Never overpay for a home. Instead, find a better deal elsewhere. If you overpay, it's because you chose to do so, and it's because you probably deep down subconsciously think the value of the home is actually a little higher than its listed amount. But know that you have options and you could always find a different deal. Are you really overpaying? Probably not. It is my opinion that you would not walk the home if it was overpriced. You would not waste your time. So if you are seeing a home, it's probably because the square footage, the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, etc. are a reasonable price, are within a reasonable purchase price, and overall something that you're looking for. If the property was truly overpriced, you probably wouldn't visit the home in the first place. So here are some of my secrets to success. Overpaying for a home based on my logic is highly unlikely. I feel homes are extremely valuable assets, so we should buy early, often, and in general, as much as possible. So overpaying makes no sense in my eyes. Mathematically, buy everything you can, regardless of the purchase price. Buy what you can, regardless of the purchase price going up or down a few $1,000s, plus or minus whatever you can afford. Just ensure that you're buying within your affordability and within your budget. And try not to buy something that is too expensive for your means or way higher than the average median price for a home in that area. Mathematically, purchasing in my eyes is a win, regardless of the plus or minus small amounts of money. Do not waste your time in the weeds for things that do not matter. What matters is the condition of the major components and structure of the home, the bones of the home, especially with size, the quantity of rooms, the quantity of bathrooms, is there a garage, what's the overall square footage or lot size, what is the location of the home. These are the things that matter. These things are a great indicator of the value, and the overall condition is most important. Make sure what you're buying is in good condition. Do not waste your time worrying about a few $1,000s here or there, especially if you have the money. Do not worry about awful paint or gardening. That is cosmetic. Somebody can fix it. Just contract out to resolve that issue. Just contract out to resolve that issue. Labor can fix these things, almost anything is fixable. You just don't want to put structural repairs on your plate because they can be more challenging, more difficult, more complicated, and more costly. What matters is that your home is structurally sound and reliable. This is why inspections are very priceless. They find things that you may miss, and they may save you tons of hardship and complications down the road. And they also provide you power in negotiations. Inspections are literally a must in my eyes and very helpful as well. If you have any questions, be sure to put them in the below comment area, and I would love to help you secure your best deal and help you find successes in your life. So definitely be sure to subscribe and check out my other real estate videos, as well as all the tons of different videos that I have to really enhance your businesses, your successes, and your overall path toward happiness for you and your family. If you're looking for a straighter path toward happiness for you and your family, all it takes is taking informed actions in the right direction. So definitely be sure to join us on this journey and subscribe below. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you all soon. First, you're going to want to compare comps. Comparing the listing price to other homes in the area with similar square footage, number of bedrooms, and number of bathrooms. Yeah, we already did this. Okay.